Take a deep breath for a moment. Not as an automatic habit, but as a conscious decision to slow down. Perhaps you have come to this message carrying worries that no one knows about, trying to solve situations that seem to have no answer. But there is something few people realize. Life begins to change when the mind finds alignment. Not because problems immediately disappear, but because a new way of seeing them emerges. And when that shift happens, what once felt like an unbearable burden begins to lose its weight. Stay here for a few moments. There is something important your soul needs to remember. For a long time, many of us were taught to believe that God is distant, watching our mistakes and waiting for us to become perfect before we can draw near to Him. But this idea has created an invisible barrier within countless people. The truth is that alignment with God does not happen when you become perfect. It happens when you stop resisting. Divine presence does not need to be earned. It already exists. What often prevents you from perceiving it are the inner noises created by fear, anxiety, and the constant need to control what cannot yet be controlled. Look at your own experience. How many times have you tried to solve everything on your own? How many nights have you lost overthinking situations that were beyond your control? The human mind has a natural tendency to believe it must carry the weight of the entire world on its shoulders. But that burden was never meant for you. When the mind takes responsibility for things that belong to the natural flow of life, it becomes exhausted. Constant worry appears, emotional fatigue grows, and the feeling of struggling alone takes over. And it is precisely at that point that many people become disconnected from the peace they have been seeking. Misalignment does not happen because God moves away. It happens because the mind closes itself off. Little by little, fear builds invisible barriers. Worry begins to occupy spaces that were once filled with trust. Without even realizing it, a person starts living in a constant state of defense. They try to predict every problem, control every outcome, and avoid every possible mistake. But the more they try to control everything, the more insecure they become. True security is never born from absolute control. It comes from the quiet confidence that a greater intelligence is guiding what you cannot yet fully understand. Perhaps the change you are seeking is not found in doing more. Perhaps it is found in allowing more. Allowing life to flow through you. Allowing divine wisdom to find room to work. Allowing anxiety to fade without having to fight a constant battle against it. There is an inner state where the mind stops struggling and begins cooperating. In that state, decisions become clearer, paths seem less confusing, and the heart finds rest. And it all begins with one simple choice: letting go of resistance and making room for trust. There is a force working
şu an
within you
gözükmüyor.
at this very moment, even if you are not aware of it. While your attention is focused on external events, a deeper part of your mind is recording emotions, interpreting experiences, and building patterns that influence your reality. Joseph Murphy taught that the subconscious mind accepts as true whatever you repeatedly impress upon it. That is why it is not only your words that shape your life, but even more importantly, the feelings you cultivate each day. When trust becomes an inner habit, your mind begins working in favor of your goals instead of against them. Many people offer sincere prayers to God while continuing to imagine failure. They desire prosperity but nourish thoughts of lack. They seek peace but spend hours strengthening their worries. This inner conflict sends mixed messages to the subconscious mind. It is like trying to travel down two different roads at the same time. True faith does not begin only when you ask for something. It begins when your mind accepts the possibility that what you seek is already being prepared. Trust opens doors that worry will never be able to see. Look at nature. A tree does not grow faster because someone checks its roots every day. A seed does not bloom because it is pressured to produce results immediately. Every process has its own natural timing. The same principle is at work in your life. Anxiety often comes from trying to rush what is still developing. When you understand this, something changes deeply within you. You continue moving forward. You continue doing your part, but you release the need to control every step. And within that space of trust, life finds the freedom to unfold as it was meant to. Intuition is one of the quietest ways divine wisdom reveals itself. It rarely arrives through dramatic signs or extraordinary events. Most often, it comes as a gentle insight, a sense of clarity, or a feeling that a certain direction deserves your attention. The challenge is that many people overlook this guidance because they are expecting something much bigger. Yet the truth is that God often speaks through stillness. The more restless the mind becomes, the harder it is to recognize these subtle messages that are gently guiding you toward a better path. Perhaps one of the greatest spiritual transformations happens when you stop seeing life as a constant battle. For years, many people live believing they must fight everything: time, circumstances, and even their own thoughts. This way of living creates exhaustion and emotional fatigue. But there is another way, a way built on cooperation rather than conflict. When you learn to walk in harmony with divine principles, you begin to realize that not every challenge requires resistance. Some situations call for wisdom, others call for patience, and many simply call for trust. There is a quiet habit that prevents many people from experiencing the peace they long for: the constant need to predict the future. The mind tries to anticipate problems, imagine difficulties, and create solutions for situations that may never happen. This behavior feels like protection, but in reality, it creates exhaustion. The more energy you invest in imaginary scenarios, the less present you become in the moment you are living right now. Divine wisdom operates in the present. It is here that decisions are made, opportunities emerge, and new paths unfold. When you bring your attention back to the present moment, you reclaim a strength that worry had taken away. The subconscious mind functions like fertile soil. It does not deeply question the seeds that are planted within it. It simply works to bring them into expression. That is why thoughts repeated with emotion gain power over time. If someone continually nourishes feelings of fear, insecurity, and defeat, they create an inner environment where those experiences can grow. But when they choose to cultivate trust, hope, and gratitude, they begin building a new mental foundation. This transformation does not happen overnight. It unfolds gradually, like a sunrise illuminating areas of life that once remained hidden in darkness. One of the greatest illusions of the human mind is believing that it must have all the answers before taking the next step. Yet life rarely works that way. More often than not, clarity appears along the journey rather than before it begins. Many opportunities remain invisible until you demonstrate a willingness to move forward. Faith does not remove uncertainty. It gives you the courage to keep walking despite it. And when you choose to move ahead with confidence, something remarkable happens. New resources, fresh ideas, and unexpected possibilities begin to appear precisely when they are needed most. There is an important difference between waiting and trusting. Those who merely wait often live in anxiety, counting the days and constantly checking for results. Those who trust find peace even while the process is still unfolding. True trust does not depend on immediate signs or visible proof. It is born from the conviction that there is a greater order working behind the scenes of life. Even when nothing seems to be happening, countless things are being arranged. Some doors must close so that better ones can open. Some delays carry protection that will only be understood later. Not everything that takes time is being denied. Often, it is simply being prepared. Throughout life, everyone experiences moments when things do not go according to plan. In those moments, it is easy to interpret the outcome as failure. But a deeper perspective reveals something different. Not every interruption is a defeat. Not every change of direction represents a loss. In many cases, what appeared to be an obstacle was actually a necessary redirection. Divine intelligence sees connections that our limited vision cannot yet perceive. That is why some answers arrive through open doors, while others arrive through closed ones. Yet both may be guiding you exactly where you are meant to be. Often, the greatest obstacle to transformation is not found in external circumstances but in the image a person has created of themselves. If someone sees themselves as incapable, unlucky, or unworthy, they will naturally interpret life through that lens. Joseph Murphy taught that the mind acts according to what it accepts as true. That is why deep change begins when you stop identifying with old limitations. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the moments when you felt weak or uncertain. Within you exists a potential far greater than any difficult experience has allowed you to see. The moment you begin to recognize that truth, a new chapter can begin. Gratitude holds a power that goes far beyond good manners or simple kindness. It changes the focus of the mind. When a person constantly notices only what is missing, they strengthen feelings of lack and limitation. But when they learn to recognize what they have already received, they create a different emotional atmosphere within themselves. Gratitude does not deny challenges or pretend that difficulties do not exist. It simply prevents those difficulties from occupying the entire space of awareness. A grateful mind remains open to opportunities, resources, and solutions. And often, what once seemed distant begins to move closer when the heart learns to appreciate the blessings already present. There is a kind of peace that does not depend on favorable circumstances. It does not appear because everything is perfect, but because a person has discovered stability within themselves. This peace is not passivity. It is quiet strength. It is the ability to remain grounded even when uncertainty surrounds you. When the mind becomes connected to higher spiritual principles, it no longer reacts impulsively to every challenge. Instead of panicking, it observes. Instead of becoming overwhelmed, it reflects. And within that balanced state, answers begin to emerge that were previously hidden beneath fear, stress, and emotional turbulence. True peace is not the absence of challenges. It is the presence of inner stability in the midst of them. Imagination is one of the most powerful gifts God has given to humanity. Everything that exists around you today began as an idea in someone's mind. The subconscious responds strongly to mental images that are filled with emotion. That is why it is important to pay attention to the pictures you repeatedly create within yourself. Do you imagine solutions or problems? Do you visualize growth or failure? Do you focus on possibilities or limitations? Whatever consistently occupies your imagination tends to influence your actions, decisions, and outcomes. Your mind was designed to create, build, and expand, not merely to react to circumstances. There is profound wisdom in learning to release what has already fulfilled its purpose. Many people suffer because they continue carrying experiences, resentments, and worries that belong to the past. Yet life is constantly moving forward. What was necessary yesterday may no longer be necessary today. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for new opportunities to enter your life. Excessive attachment traps emotional energy. Trust allows that energy to flow again. Some of life's greatest blessings arrive only after we find the courage to release what no longer belongs on our journey. True self-confidence is not born from pride or a sense of superiority. It comes from understanding that a greater power is working through you. When you realize this, you stop relying solely on your own strength to navigate life's challenges. You continue to learn, grow, and make an effort, but you do so with the awareness that you are not walking alone. This perspective reduces the fear of failure and strengthens your courage in difficult moments. When trust in divine guidance becomes part of your life, even the most challenging experiences can become opportunities for growth, wisdom, and transformation. A peaceful mind makes better decisions. This is because fear often distorts our perception of reality. When we are overwhelmed by anxiety, we tend to see threats where none exist and overlook valuable opportunities that are right in front of us. On the other hand, when we cultivate inner calm, we are able to view situations with greater clarity and wisdom. That is why so many answers emerge during moments of silence, prayer, or reflection. Not because the solution suddenly appeared out of nowhere, but because the mind finally became quiet enough to recognize what had been there all along. Perhaps you are going through a season in which many things seem uncertain. Maybe there are questions that remain unanswered and paths that have not yet become clear. But that does not mean your life is standing still. There are movements taking place behind the scenes that your eyes cannot yet perceive. Just as a seed grows silently beneath the soil before it ever breaks through the surface, many important processes unfold beyond our immediate view. Learning to trust that process is one of the greatest spiritual practices a person can develop. There comes a moment when you realize that you do not need to control every detail in order to feel secure. That realization changes everything. the constant need to monitor the future begins to fade. Comparisons with other people lose their power. The pressure to make everything happen immediately starts to disappear. You learn to do your part with dedication and then allow life to unfold naturally. This attitude is not weakness. On the contrary, it creates a quiet strength rooted in the certainty that a greater intelligence is coordinating what lies beyond your current understanding. Right now, allow these words to settle into a quiet place within you. Perhaps not every answer has arrived yet, but that does not mean you are lost. A direction is being formed. A purpose is revealing itself one step at a time. Continue moving forward with faith, even when you cannot see the entire path ahead. Continue nurturing thoughts of trust, gratitude, and hope. Little by little, you will begin to notice that life responds differently when the mind stops struggling and starts cooperating with divine wisdom. And when that happens, the heart discovers something truly precious. The calm
şu an
assurance that you
gözükmüyor.
are exactly where you need to be. Before we close, I want to invite you to do something special. If this message has brought peace to your heart, clarity to your mind, or strengthened your faith in any way, don't keep it to yourself. Click the like button now, because every like helps this message reach others who may need hope and encouragement today. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss content designed to strengthen your faith, renew your confidence, and help you develop a mind that is more aligned with God's purpose for your life. Finally, leave a comment below saying, "I choose to trust God's timing and wisdom."